The AC Legends mod version 3 was released by Bazza and his crew being a whole lot of guys that are involved in this project. They put out some iconic liveries. This is actually a rally livery for the Porsche 911 RSR. I'm going to test 3 cars here that really interest me, which is this Porsche RSR. There's a BMW CSL and of course the Ford Capri, Cologne Capri. But I started off with the RSR because I found I could get it. I'd like to take it to Silverstone, where I found, the sort of lap times one should be doing. But first, the documentation. I mean, documentation on this. Do you remember this? I mean, do you guys remember when video games came with documentation booklets? Grand Prix Legends. I come from Grand Prix Legends, as you all know. But and this is sort of like a bit of old school. You can read about the cars, fascinating history, and from my side, let's start with the Porsche RSR, which I decided to take to the old Silverstone layout, and they ran that track until 1974, I do believe, but before that there were no chicanes. So I went and I sort of studied what the lap times were, and I actually came across the 1970 tourist trophy from the sports car database, and saw that quite a lot of the cars that were in this mod are there, and I was hunting a 136. Okay, 136 was my time. Now listen to me, this is not an arrive and drive mod. Okay, on the grid, Silverstone, the old one, starting from almost the back, after quite a lot of practice trying to get used to it, after driving these modern GT3s where you stamp on the brakes and the electronics do everything, you're now on a car that none of that goes down. So there you go, already missing my brake marks. But you really got to, they steel brakes, so these things are not just going to brake when you want them to brake. They're going to brake when they feel like braking. So you got to get used to all that. It took me a really long time, I must say. And if wherever you're braking in a modern GT3, you got to go 3 times back and start braking then, and just brake in a straight line. You do not want to trail brake these guys. You don't want to suddenly brake and reduce speed by braking in the corner. Mid corner, forget about it. It's like what I can say, it's a lottery. Sometimes you can catch it and get away with it, but generally speaking, do your braking on a straight line, get your markers right. It's super important. Hit the apexes with this thing, and it's I must say, for Assetto Corsa, the AI was pretty awesome in the first lap. They're doing nothing stupid. They all got away well. I didn't overtake 20 guys on the grid, so very nice. And the times are I'm doing 38s or 37s or whatever the case might be, but yes, realistic in terms of the driving experience. It's like I said, you've got to forget everything that you learn from the modern GT3s, and it is definitely a mindset on how you drive it. And once you can get the hang of that, of actually switching off all the modern stuff, you get into that rhythm. It's almost like Grand Prix Legends. It's almost driving these cars, single seaters without wings, that kind of thing. But you can get them off the road, as you can see. You can go farming and you can catch it, and you can have 2 wheels on, 2 wheels off. So very realistic. It feels weighty. Maybe a bit more weighty would be cool, but I do feel that this Silverstone track from Kunos is a bit slippery, and so maybe it needs 1% more grip, this track. I don't know, but it just feels a bit icy. But the car's delivering on every level. Look at this racing. I mean, the AI are very well behaved for Assetto Corsa, and the visuals are awesome. You just get immersed. You feel you're at Silverstone. I've been to Silverstone. Obviously, it's changed a lot when I was there, sort of in the 80s. But you get that atmosphere, and again, a lot of GPL, Grand Prix Legends, deja vu, because you almost have to drive the car like that, and almost it's a progression of those cars, how you'd expect that era car to drive. They're not my favorite era. Mine started in 75 onwards. This is 75 before. I like the 935s. I like a bit more aero and a little more grip and the power and all that. But in terms of retro tintops, historic tintops, this just ticks every single box. Assetto Corsa, again, it's a revival. I mean, this sim is just hitting home run after home run. and it's becoming the go-to modding platform because R-Factor 2 is so complicated, whereas Assetto Corsa, you know, I can even make skins for the cars. And look how beautiful they are. I mean, you know, okay, getting it a bit wide there, but again, you can put the stuff on the dirt and you can catch it. One thing about the skins, I've got a lot of original, fantastic, you know, iconic skins, and some fake skins, some fantasy skins, etc. Definitely the immersion is there, but again, if you're not prepared to spend the time to learn to drive these things, then forget about it. You know, they're just not like normal GT3s. They do not handle like the modern GT3s, and rightfully so, because, you know, they were archaic pieces of kit compared to what we have now. At the time, they were cutting edge, and yes, very drivable. There's a certain finesse you require. You can understand why guys were masters of these cars, because it is definitely, you definitely need a lot of skill, which I don't really have with these type of cars and most simming. But, you know, I get by, and I really feel like in this particular instance, I was in a race. You know, I make mistakes. I'm not the greatest sim in the world. I'm probably like Andrea de Cesaris, you know, that kind of driver. But, you know, I like to think that I can swing it when I have to, especially against AI, because if they're too fast, I just put them down, so it's all cool. But again, you know, big dice, going for it, you know, making my way up the field. I'm still nowhere near a Porsche. And yeah, some really nice camera angles, like me in car there. I think the race suit's a bit too modern, but that's cool. It's historics. And again, you can really battle close, and the AI are not scared. I've got them on 100% and 75% aggression. The aggression is almost perfect. I'm up it a bit more, but very dicey, very racy, very well behaved, except me. I rubbed this guy. He doesn't believe rubbing's racing. Boom. That was me to sort of T-bone myself, my own worst enemy. But yeah, only me to blame. I should have turned it more and more, but, you know, these things start going, they just go, and you can see I'm turning as much as I can to the right, but boom, yeah, okay, in a ditch. It's not that cool, but super realistic, super cool, a lot of hard work. Although I did end up in this ditch, I can say that it was really worth the time and the effort, and I just hope you guys see how beautiful these sims are. Specifically this mod, and how Assetto Corsa has just gone to another level. I'm fired up for this. I'm going to go to Monza and do the Ford Capri, because I've got times there that are very relevant, and then of course I'm going to end off at Kyalami with the BMW CSL. But amazing. Just get this mod and drive it. Take your time, but you'll really enjoy it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and give us a like if you dig it, and subscribe to the channel so we can grow this thing.